Oh, Grumpu. Oh, she pulls it. So I'm like,
You love it. He loves it.
I can't think of a rumor because most
I
of the rumors have been
100%.
true now, so I can't think.
Oh, I know one. I know one.
Okay, I want to hear this.
Apparently, because of me, someone has gotten kicked out of a film. Too good. I wish I was that important, guys. Thanks. I know no gossip. I know no details about most actors' lives.
Even our own life sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes my own life also. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Arjun has. Arjun.
मेरे पास सबकी gossip है.
He is, oh my god, if you want to know anything,
That's why I said
anything at all, you call this man, he will tell you.
The silliest advice you received that you never took. For the two of you.
Actor मत बन.
That I have to change myself to fit into this industry.
And which you didn't.
Hells no.
Hello everyone, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Speak Easy. My guests today are so much fun. They're also apparently the new jury. Have you heard of Ammi and Timmy Masi? What, you haven't heard? Let me introduce them. Hello Ammi Masi and Timmy Masi.
ये है अम्मी मासी, I'm
Timmy
Masi.
Masi. और
मुझे नहीं
प्यार
पता
से
किसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. I don't know what this name is.
Arjun Kapoor Tara Sutaria भी कहते हैं, but that's the name that we would like to, you know,
नहीं.
go by. But what is it? I actually told Tara that you are this very, Agni aunt is not cool. You're this cool aunt who people can come for advice though. So you are that
advice
Masi.
to give.
Yeah, people look at me and they assume that I do have advice to give, and invariably it is right.
Yeah.
But फिर लोग मुझे बोलते हैं अच्छा ये तो ज्ञानी बाबा है.
Yeah, he looks wise, but actually.
Okay. Any comments? Do you think you're wise, Arjun? But I love it. You'll have a WhatsApp group that you've created. I love this natural sort of chemistry the two of you have.
Rudrani knows all, huh? I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
I've got all the tea.
Yeah.
So this WhatsApp group that you've created after this entire, this amazing jodi of Ammi and Timmy, I want to know what is happening
There's
there.
another person also in this group.
Is that-
But we are not getting into that name.
What do you do in that group?
This group actually came into existence because when we went to Goa to shoot, me and Tara didn't really know each other at all. I think we met and interacted for the first time literally 48 hours before we started filming.
Yeah.
We'll go into the details of what happened in that when you ask us the questions. But after the shoot got over, it was about 10 days of shooting in Goa, and the second lockdown happened actually. And I think there was a sense of we were just about finding a connect, and there was a bond genuinely developing about all the jokes, all the wisecracks, and the inside jokes on a film set. It's like a work environment thing.
Yeah.
But we were missing being able to continue that energy, and it was also, I think, somewhere a very terrible time that was going on sitting at home. So I think the group came into formation just for us to stay connected because we didn't know when we would shoot next at that point of time.
Yeah.
And then it just stayed, and then the DP was changed to
It was hilarious
different
picture
expressions.
after hilarious picture after hilarious picture.
And then it just became sending different images to each other.
And connecting
And
through, he was shooting another film later, I was shooting another film, so we could
It just
we
then
could
kept
connect.
going on. So when I was shooting Kutte and then she was promoting Tadap and stuff,
Nirupanthi,
it was
yeah.
and Nirupanthi, it was just now it's just become, I think, the way of communication, even devoid of the film.
But from what I know, Arjun clicks very good pictures. Like, I know you've clicked such amazing pictures of Malaika, but what happens to the pictures that you're clicking of the two of you? Blur, जानबूझ के blur किया है?
insist.
मतलब
There is
सिर्फ
chaos.
मतलब सिर्फ कुछ लोगों का अच्छा खींचोगे, अर्जुन?
क्या है, मेरे कुछ फैंस हैं जैसे तारा सुतारिया, वो पूरी पिक्चर की शूटिंग के दौरान बोलते थे हमने एक अच्छी फोटो नहीं ली. So we took
We
this
have
photo now
recently
after.
posted some pictures
That's
on
what she's
Instagram.
saying.
It's blurred.
It's not one, there are 10 photos.
And he
where
has these, he clicks like such nice, Malaika's glowing, and like all of that. I'm like, this is very mean, Arjun.
But you have to understand.
you have to see us when these photos are being clicked. I am pulling his hair, he's like, I don't know, pinching my nose. It's like these things are happening when we're taking
It felt like a
So-
dare, ki, I
Also-
dare you to post it.
Also, most importantly, you have to understand that she's the one who's moving around. I'm taking the photo. If you see the picture she's posted, she's the one who's
And then you're also sulking and complaining all the time.
But
So
I was
please
like,
don't
मेरे
be
अभी
so
photo, so late at night now, fan was the photo. I'm like, okay, चलो ठीक है, दे देता हूँ.
Such a fan, a huge
Oh my
fan.
God. It's a hard life that you live.
But
Right?
I take really
Really
good
hard.
pictures.
That you do.
I have to say, but I don't have a single good picture of Tara on my phone.
Yeah.
So
Everything has my double chin.
It's
got
the,
like...
it's the art and the artist are not aligning for sure in these photos.
In those photos, no? But now that we are there, I want to know, what was you didn't know, of course, you're in the same industry, but I want to know, what were your initial thoughts when you heard around the friends about Arjun and what changed? And same question to you. When
Let her answer that.
Okay, and then let's...
I spoke so much.
But you You want to give your answer based on what she
No,
is?
no, no, no. I want to know because she is a little away from.
Yeah.
She started out now. I've been around, so a lot
Correct.
more people know me. So she must
Correct.
have got
I
a
want
lot
to know
more
what you.
intel on me.
I
No?
want to know what you heard about him and when you actually sort of now.
Also,
of
I've
course.
not worked with anybody that's worked with her in that before we started.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
That's why.
Yeah, that's true actually. To be honest with you, I'm a pretty aloof person. I think in the industry, yeah.
That is true.
We've interacted enough now. I know no gossip. I know no details
Yeah.
about most actors' lives.
Even her own life sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes my own life also. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Arjun has. Arjun.
मेरे पास सबकी gossip है.
He is, oh my god, if you want to know anything,
That's why I said one-
anything at all, you call this man, he will tell you.
That is true.
And he will tell you first.
I want to hear what she had
Sorry.
heard about
Yeah,
me, the rumors.
We
No,
got
I
distracted.
hadn't heard any
Huh.
rumors or anything.
Not rumors,
weird
like in the
that. I
sense,
had
like, you know, when
so
you
I
hear.
had just heard one thing that a lot of people were telling me, and I now know it to be true, is that this guy can really talk, man. Like he has the gift of the gab, if you'd like to call it that, which is a great thing most of the time. And I feel like most people who might have worked with him or interacted with him, they sort of, and he's highly intelligent. So most of what he says isn't just rubbish. He can, of course, speak a lot of rubbish as well and fun and gossip and whatever. But he's very witty. He's hysterically funny. So I enjoy that about him. And when he's talking, when he overdoes it, you just have to slap him on his head or slap him on his back and he'll shut up. That's essentially what happens between us.
Basically.
And so that's all actually. Some of his co-actors and just some people that I knew in the industry had just said, oh, you know, he's so much fun, he's always talking, so you don't need to worry about it. Interviews and things like that, he'll handle it, which again now I know to be true. But it's great because I'm actually an introverted person, and then when you meet someone like him and you work with someone like him, I didn't even know him, but it took us about a day and a quarter to get to know each other, and we, you know, sometimes you just hit it off with someone. And you don't need to think twice. Everything's effortless and easy. And we have the greatest equation, and I'm really, really proud of that. The one thing that I'm proudest of, apart from so many amazing things on this film, is my equation with Arjun. See, I ended it so sweetly.
Very nice.
It's very reminiscent of how Ranveer also is. Both of them actually hate promotions, but they are
But
on.
not a lot of people
But the
correct
camera
know that.
ons, I know it.
But thanks for
Arjun
putting that in
hates-
there.
Thanks for telling people I don't like doing what I'm doing right now with you,
Arjun
but
hates
yeah,
them.
I care. It's not that I don't, but yes, do I like to go running around 15 days before my release, lose perspective about what my film actually is, and just say the same answers again and again? The monotony, the sheer fatigue that comes with trying to just be omnipresent mentally, physically, emotionally, while you also have an anxiety about your film coming out and the amount of effort you put in, and you lose. I think you become numb by the end. So what I don't enjoy is when the film actually releases, you're almost relieved rather than excited. You're almost like, let's get it over and done with towards the end. And that's I don't enjoy that because yaar aapne itni mehnat ki ek picture banane mein. You also want to go through the emotional journey of the feedback, the reaction. In my case, I've not had very good reaction for the last few years. That doesn't mean that I don't look forward to this one.
It's very different. He might not like it, but
In
he's
the
it.
beginning, there was a phase where people did feel that. So I had to work on that aspect.
But your entire straight face, so you've been killing it. You can use this completely in this film. People have been saying, na, serious straight face. ऐसे फिल्मों का full use
But that's also where, for the first day, she actually thought I am very, very detached and I'm very, very, I wouldn't say badly behaved, but I was very into my own thing and I was not really connected
It's not
with
that
her.
at all. So I think it's just a bit of a facade, and once
I
you
think
cross
my
that,
resting dash face is a big reason because I do look a little upset when I'm thinking. And I have realized that there are a lot of times images
Also,
that-
when he's wonderfully for a movie like this.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's true.
And now she makes fun of it and she's like, oh, Grumpu, oh, she pulls it. So I'm like, Arey, yaar,
You love it. He loves it.
He loves it. Tara's like he loves it.
He does.
Okay,
I'm
I
basically a pet.
Yeah, you're my pet.
distracted from the one that we're answering. What did you hear of Tara, and how did sort of this develop into such a nice, warm friendship? Just lovely.
No, I don't have any memory of hearing anything specific that I would retain. It must have just been fleeting because not too many overlaps in people who had worked with her or interacted with her. Like she said, she's aloof and also not really filmy in that sense. I had not met her at a party before or anything. In fact, I met her more at parties now after we've done the film.
We had met once,
Just
but like hi.
yeah.
That's
so,
it.
So I didn't have any preconceived notions about her, and I'm not judgmental by nature. But at the same time, I think when I was starting this film out, I was a bit caught up in my own head about what I have to do because it was a tough film for me. I was getting back into doing this space. I was just hoping and praying that I do get along with her. because it was important, because the film is written for two characters who do spar. There's a verbal volley going on 24/7 with them in the film. And invariably, I didn't expect it to be off camera as well, but invariably, I think what happened is what we became off camera came through on camera. And the banter, as we call it, or she calls bands.
It is fancy.
It's a cute band.
It's a band.
It's a band. We also, yesterday we discovered a new one. I don't know, I think we became two school kids who were just having fun on that. So I didn't have any baggage to carry off us. But I'm glad I didn't, because let me put it this way, it would have maybe come in the way in that first few days. I would have then been very wary.
Very of,
I was not. I had nothing. I came with literally a clean slate, and I think it allowed me to build my own equation with her and discover her from my eyes. Actors tend to suffer from hearsay when they meet people.
So true.
And by the time you figure out the real person, almost 15-20 days go by. And by then you get along really well, but it does not reflect so much on screen. And I think in our case, from day 2, very fairly, because day 1 ka scene continued to day 2. So thankfully, we managed to hit it off. And I'm really proud about the fact that we are friends off, but there is an inherent passionate romantic chemistry that we were able to build from there. And I think that's very, very tough. Sometimes when you are friends, you can afford to be very casual about the way you go about working together, taking it for granted that it'll show. But that didn't happen. And credit to her, the fact that I have a little bit of more experience, so I know that I can switch on a little faster when it comes to creating. Mohit expects that passion and that intensity and that gaze and that fluidity of going from talking suddenly into an emotional beat. The fact that she was switched on to that. So all the bands did happen, but at the same time she was there. And I told her, I think we finished the schedule, and I told her, I said, I really feel she's very, very talented. I feel nobody has seen even 0.5% of what this girl is capable of. But it comes from the fact...
Maybe they'll see it in Villain.
It comes from the fact that I think Villain is God sent for somebody like her, where she has been able to use a lot that is within her that has not been explored. आप कई बार चीजें इकट्ठे करके रख देते हो अपनी पर्सनालिटी के, because you feel यार ये तो काम नहीं आता performance में. I think she's been able to put enough hints out there for all the directors, actors, co-actors, people to understand that there is so much more to her on camera. Because off camera she's amazing. I think she's one of the most stunning girls you will meet. She's always photographed well. The way she dresses, the way she styles.
True.
It's that's a given, right? But there is so much more to Tara than that.
I'm getting a compli.
A big one, recording bhej dena.
Please bhej dena, yaar.
We'll tag this particular clip. I'll put it on my account and Tracy, remember Arjun sent
But there's
5
so much
minutes.
more. There's so much more to her, which I feel this film will allow people to see, and I really want that to happen because I do want her to do very good work, and I want her to continue this bands with me on set, off camera.
Yeah.
And that's true though, we've had the discussion with Tara about how would you, like we keep saying, if you don't get the role, how will you show you're capable of it? And that work has to come your way to sort of explore it also, right? I mean,
I think it's some people get fortunate that, the right film finds you in the beginning of your career, that really nails it for you. Sometimes you have to wait for the right role to really, maybe not the perfect example, but I feel Deepika Padukone post Cocktail was a different personality and acted together, so it's about sometimes about going ahead, doing your work, keeping your head down. Sometimes you do an Ishaq Zade in your first film and then you get recognized in a different world completely. So as an actor, you will never have the perfect film. Sometimes you have to work for it, sometimes it just happens to you.
Sure.
And I think it's a very nascent career. You have to realize that 3 years of COVID that have gone in the middle. So 3-4 films old. I think by the time I was 4 years old in the profession, I'd done 7-8 films. So I'm really hopeful because there is a dearth of genuinely capable people who fill the screen this way, that you can look amazing at the same time there is so much performance in you. So I hope she gets that chance and she discovers a film that gives her that.
Since that debut that you made in Coffee with Karan with your singing, it was bound to happen that you would do that on screen for real.
Yes.
And it is happening.
Yes.
Isn't it?
It is.
How do you feel as being launched officially as a singer now? You have with Alia, Shraddha, all of them joining that gang.
So to be honest with you, it's something that I wanted to do all my life. I never really thought I would, be an actress. It's never something I grew up wanting to do.
But you started so young.
Yeah.
No, but I was always keen to be on stage and be a part of the theatre. That's actually my first obsession and love. Even today, to be honest with you.
And musicals.
Musicals and theatre, that's my happy place, that's my home, that's my mecca, that's my everything. And a huge part of being on stage is obviously music, and especially if you look at plays and musicals over the last few decades, you know, and that's something I've grown up being very, very obsessed with. So I always thought that music will be a huge part of my life. I grew up performing a lot in the theatre for about 15 years before I did that song on Coffee with Karan. I was
so
on stage,
serious.
and I absolutely, I mean, this has been something I've wanted to do all my life, and it's always been about finding the right moment to launch my voice in a way that I felt comfortable and in a way that I would respect. Because I'm a singer first and an actor later, and I always say that because I've sung all my life, I've not acted all my life. So it feels fantastic, and it feels surreal, and it feels unusual to what I've always thought it would be, because I've never sung in Hindi in my life. And I've
That's what
always
also,
sung
but
in
you never sung in Hindi.
Never sung in
yeah.
Hindi. So
quite cool.
that's why it's unusual for me. I'm not a trained Hindi singer. I obviously love so many of the classics and so many beautiful Hindi songs, but I've never trained. And for me, I do feel if you're taking something up in life, a certain amount of training can't kill you. So I really did work very hard on the songs for this film. They're so beautiful, and I can't wait for, you know, I hope everybody that's hearing them and loving them.
But there must be a major difference in
continues
singing
to-
in English
It's
and
very
Hindi.
different. You sing from a completely different part of your body, first of all, which not a lot of people know.
I can't sing from any part of my body, so I wouldn't know.
Wise words. Wise words.
Priyanka made it happen. She was doing
Yeah.
it beautifully. You know, Alia was taking a few singles, and you
Yeah.
said that, and I feel like, do you really want to go that?
Absolutely.
way?
Absolutely. I don't think I would do that necessarily only with Hindi music,
Like
because
solo albums,
I've
like a
trained for
Priyanka.
20 years with English music and Western
Correct.
classical, pop, jazz, and semi-classical. So that's something that I've always, you know, sort of admired growing up. So I think
So interesting.
I will definitely be signing with a label and coming out with an album soon.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
even I want to pursue singing.
You should.
You should. I think everybody should.
Stronger starting point. So it's amazing for all the names that you took, for her to be following through on something like what Priyanka did. It'll be really amazing.
These are quick questions.
Okay.
And the same question for the two of you.
Okay.
And because we don't have the time, so
Okay.
there you go. Okay, a rumor about yourself that makes you laugh.
You know, every time I see this in other interviews, I think of a really smart answer, and now I'm blank. Can we come back to this? Can you ask
Okay,
us
fair.
another question?
Arjun?
I can't think of a rumor because most
I
of the rumors have been
100%.
true now, so I can't think of it.
Oh, I know one.
Okay, I wanna hear this.
Apparently, because of me, someone has gotten kicked out of a film. Too good. I wish I was that important, guys. Thanks to the media.
I genuinely can't remember. Rumors have stopped coming about me.
Arjun's all rumors have come through, Arjun's time में होते ही
हाँ
नहीं.
नहीं और आना बंद ही हो गया I think हाँ. No, but there was just rumors always before when we start doing. It's like two girls are supposed to have a cat fight in a film, so
course,
it's like when we did
naturally.
Gunde, then obviously we were having issues offset,
Tara and you discussed this elaborately.
which
a lot,
didn't happen
yeah.
at all. So that was really funny then.
Okay, the next one is an audition that you really didn't do well, but you've learned from.
The audition that I did for Virus Diwan, I'm sure was not the best, but I got lucky that they kept the camera on in between, and I did all that I do normally, and I got lucky. So I think Adi liked the in-betweens more than the audition. So I think the
Oh,
audition
really?
was not great, but Arjun Kapoor, the person, still came through to Aditya Chopra, so that's good.
Some of the trades dekh liya sab. What about you?
Many years ago, I had done this audition for a musical that was coming to India on stage. And the director asked me a question that I'd never really been asked to do before, to perform before. It was sort of to look, to perform like an animal that I didn't understand what animal that was because I'd never heard of the animal. And I tried to be smart and be like, yeah, I know what he's talking about. And
Was it a
basically, don't start. And I pretended to know this animal. I had no idea what he was talking about. And I have just, while doing this animal thing that I was doing, I walked out of the room because I got so embarrassed.
But which was this animal that you
Never
didn't know
mind.
about? I want to know
don't,
that.
still don't know. I still don't know.
An Arjun Kapoor film you would have wished you were a part of.
I don't know how many she's seen of mine.
I've seen.
You've seen? I mean, I've done a lot of films.
I'm
so-
trying to think. You know what? I really loved that he did Ki and Ka. I really thought it was really cool of him to do Ki
Thank
and Ka.
you.
So yeah, Ki and Ka.
That would have been a cool one.
Yeah.
So, student and Tadap, I've seen.
Which one do you think you liked among
So
all the ones?
I saw Tadap and I spoke to her right after that.
Yeah?
It's Ahan is somebody who I play football with so much, and
Yeah.
I was working with her at the time when the film came out, and
Yeah.
I gave her my feedback about what I felt, and I don't think that needs to be discussed.
Sure, of
but
course
at a certain level, it was nice to know that she's willing to put herself out there and do that kind of a role in a film, and the fact that it's not easy to be able to be a disliked person at the end of a film. You know, you always look for a rationale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in a
like a
film.
strongly hated
You always
character.
want justification for your characters. But she managed to hold her own in that case, and you despised her for what she's done in the film. But it wasn't like you needed to be manipulated to despise her. Her performance was enough. I think that one scene in the sari where she turns around and talks to, was it Kumud sir? No, you were talking to...
I was talking to Saurabh sir.
Saurabh sir.
Shukla
I
sir,
think
yeah.
that was enough. So she did quite a good job in that film.
Okay, the last one. The silliest advice you received that you never took. For the two of you.
Actor mat ban.
Yours is the actor mat banna. That you didn't take, obviously. What about you?
That I have to change myself to fit into this industry.
And which you didn't.
Hells no.
Ami and Timmy Masi are the ones you should take your advice from. You see, they've got it sorted. And I can't call them villains because they are the sweetest people I know.
Please call us villains till 29
I
July.
can't call
29
you
July, we are
villain.
Williams.
Yeah, we're very
I
villains.
can't call you
It's
villain.
Valentine's Day, okay?
Yeah.
But that's the job of the actor, right?
Yes.
You do exactly what you're not in real life.
Yeah.
So that's how it's going to be. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Rudrani.
you, yeah.
I love the two of you and
Thank you
I
so
am cheering for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.